Uh, Hello, everybody. I hope that you are ready to learn some English. We'll start in 42 seconds. Let me double check to make sure everything is working the way it is supposed to. We're going to talk about everyday verbs today, verbs that you use as you go through your day. And we'll get started in about 28 seconds. I think everything's working properly. Yeah, we'll start in 20 seconds. Hello to Freddie Wolf, Burgit, Hitay, Wanda Prado, Know That, Ismail, Hitay is here. I think I said that. Let me scroll back. I know Vitor is here, Darius, and many others. Very cool to see you are. We're going to see you all. We're starting in about 3 seconds. Here we go. Well, hello and welcome to this English lesson about everyday verbs. As you go through your day, there are verbs that you will need to know to describe the actions that you do. And the things that you do throughout the day kind of go from morning until night. My lesson, though, is a little more random. As I thought of things, I added them to the list, but it doesn't really go from morning until evening. Some of these are related to your daily routine, but I have done lessons on that in the past. So these are some other common verbs that are kind of about your daily routine, and some might be new for you. I chose some that are common, but maybe not familiar to all of you. So once again, welcome to this English lesson about everyday verbs. I think you will enjoy it. Hey, hello everybody. Hello to Key Park, Lolly Lolly, Hockey, Judith, Freddie Wolf, Hitay, Chris, Know That, Vitor, M&B Official, Juliana, Anderson, Thatar, Alina. I'm scrolling back here. Burgit, Hitay. I'm saying names twice. Ismail, Wanda Prado. It's good to see all of you. Cat Diary is here as well. Welcome to this live English lesson. A few things to say before I get started. First, I'm going to do an audio check. I like it when everything works properly. It makes me very, very happy. Hey, a couple things. Number one, there will be a live English lesson tomorrow. It will most likely be inside, but it might be outside. You never know what the weather will be like. And during that lesson, you can ask any question that you want. In this lesson, I would prefer that you ask questions that are on topic, that are related to this topic. I will pin the link for asking questions in the chat. Let me see here. I think I did it right. Yes, if you have a question, please use that form. That is the best way to ask it. It's hard for me to keep an eye on the chat. And just so you know, you can ask more than one question now. So it's not limited to one. Don't spam it though. If you ask 20 questions, I'll have to skip some of them. And please use the chat to have fun and interesting English conversations with each other. You know, this live lesson serves a number of purposes. One is you get to learn about everyday verbs, but the second benefit is you get to chat and you get to read and write in English in the chat. So please do take advantage of that. It's the only time when I'm teaching, when I tell people it's okay to be distracted and to focus too much on the chat. But I think we should get started. There should be a link in the description below as well if you want to ask a question. I think we're good. I think one last audio check here. Awesome. Everything is working well. Here we go. To roll out of bed. So you can see how I've chosen a phrase here. I could say to wake up or to get up. Those are the common ones. But this is a more fun way to talk about it. And it's not uncommon. Like this morning, I rolled out of bed at 6. I was up very, very early. Usually I don't roll out of bed until 7 or 7:15 lately. But when you use this phrase, it's kind of a more interesting way to say that you got up. So when you roll something, like if you roll a ball, it goes like this. And we also use the same words to describe getting out of bed in the morning. So what time do you roll out of bed? You would respond by saying, oh, I usually roll out of bed around 6:30 or 7 or 8 if you sleep that long. I'm not sure how long all of you sleep, but to roll out of bed, to get up. To crawl into bed. So like I said, This lesson isn't perfect. It doesn't go from morning until evening, but you can also at night crawl into bed. So when I'm really tired, sometimes I crawl into bed at 9:30. The one time a couple weeks ago, I crawled into bed at 9 p.m. I normally don't go to bed until 10 or 10:30, sometimes 11 o'clock. But if I'm really tired, I might crawl into bed earlier than later. You also sometimes use this phrase when you're sick. You might say, oh, I called in sick, and then I just crawled back into bed because I didn't feel well. So to crawl into bed means the same as to go to bed at night. To look for. So I thought this was a good one. In terms of everyday verbs, I'm not sure what your life is like, but I often have to look for things. In the morning, sometimes I have to look for my Fitbit. My wedding ring is the thing that I don't lose, but I have to look for this because I put it on a different part of my desk over there all the time. And sometimes some papers get moved around and I can't find my wedding ring. But you might look for your wallet. You might look for your keys. You might look for your watch. You might look for your phone. You might look for your wedding ring if you're married. Sometimes during the day, you have to look for something because you don't know where it is. And then, of course, we have the simple verb to lose. Sometimes you have to look for something because you lost it. That's the past tense. I don't like to lose things, but sometimes I will, again, lose my wedding ring on my desk over there. What else have I lost lately? At school, I made a set of tests for the students, and then for some reason, I was able to lose them. I didn't know where they were, so I lost them and I had to look for them. So a common thing for me, at least, is that sometimes you will lose things. To flip, we have a few food-related ones here, and I tried to pick ones different than to cook or to fry or to bake. When you make eggs in a pan, you can see that this person is going to flip the egg. You can see the egg closest to me was already flipped, so past tense, but he's using a spatula and he is going to flip the egg, or she is going to flip the egg with the spatula. There are many things that we make that we need to flip. Maybe you're making pierogies in a frying pan and you need to flip them. Maybe you're making pancakes and you need to flip them. When one side is done cooking, you flip that item so that it can cook on the other side. To butter. Now, I'm not sure if you eat bread or toast sliced like this. Depending on where you're from, you might eat pitas or you might tear your bread. You might do other things. But here in North America, we often eat our bread sliced. And then usually we butter our bread. So we put on either butter or margarine. Margarine looks like butter, but it's made from oil. And we use that to butter our bread. Now, it's interesting. When you use butter, then you will get some butter and you will butter your bread. When you use margarine, you will also butter your bread. The verb stays the same, even though what you are using changes. So you might put bread in the toaster. Oh, wrong slide. You might put bread in the toaster to toast it, and then you might butter it in the morning. To scramble. Well, this is another way to make eggs. You can see that this person, instead of making an egg that's easy over, or over easy, sorry, I get that one wrong sometimes, they've decided to scramble their eggs. Scrambled eggs, that happens when you mix the egg up in the pan with the spatula and you mix the egg white with the egg yolk in order to make what we call scrambled eggs. So sometimes you decide to scramble your eggs. You decide that you want them to look like this. I enjoy scrambled eggs. They're quite tasty. And then this was the slide I was trying to jump to toast. So you will toast your bread in the toaster. Maybe you don't like bread. Maybe the bread isn't really fresh. Sometimes it's nice to toast the bread and then it becomes toast as a noun. And then you will butter the toast and then eat it with your breakfast. Really, really yummy. Really, really enjoyable. And then you might brew some coffee. I don't do this anymore. Years ago, I used to brew coffee every morning. I would put on a pot of coffee. That's another way of saying it. Or I would make coffee. You can use the simple verb to make. By the way, make works for a lot of things. Like you can make eggs, you can make toast, you can make coffee, you can make tea. But sometimes we use a more specific verb just for variety. So it's nice to smell fresh brewed coffee in the morning. It has a very, very nice smell. So you might make tea, you might brew some coffee, you would do all of the things you do to start your day. Hey, let's look at some questions. I'm curious to read the chat though. I see the chat going. I crawl out of bed and I roll into bed, says Happy As. Yeah, you could do it the other way. Freddie Wolf says, Bob's water glass shrinks since last Friday. Yeah, this is the medium-sized glass this time. There we go. No, that says, oh, the verb's related to one of the questions he's asking. Cool. I look for everything during the day because my son plays with my hairpins, glasses, earphones, and so on. Oh, yeah, glasses. Sometimes you have to look for your glasses. Thanks, Elena. Elena, let's go to the chat. Okay. Not the chat, the questions. From Know That. Hello, Bob. Regarding making a list, do you make any to organize yourself throughout the day/week, or only in certain areas or not at all? Thanks in advance, Bob. So for me, lists are very much a part of my life when I'm busy and when I have a lot to do. If I don't, like today, I only have about 5 or 6 things I need to do. I need to do a live stream. I need to go to work. I need to get some water after work. I have to fill up our water jugs. I have to stop in at a neighbor to buy some hay for our goats. And I think that's it. Oh, and our one van is at the garage, so I have to go pick it up. So I don't need a list. When I have 10 or more things to do in a day, I usually make a list. And then I usually do the hardest thing first if I have a choice. From Know That again, the second question, Bob. What item do you most often misplace or have to search for the most? Your keys, your wallet, your sunglasses, or something else? I would say wedding ring. Will it focus? I got to hide my face. Wedding ring and sunglasses. Yeah, and then sometimes in the winter, my gloves. Sometimes I don't remember where I put my gloves because sometimes you wear gloves in the morning and I'll take them off in one of my vehicles and then I'll forget. So those would be I forget a lot of things for sure. From Judith from Hungary. Hi, Bob. How would you describe with an everyday verb if you did something ubiquitous? Thank you and have a great weekend. I think it would be like, it's something that you do all the time, something you take for granted, something you do without thinking, because ubiquitous means like, it's just so common you don't notice. How would I describe it? Ubiquitous. Let me get a good definition. Present, appearing, and found everywhere. So that's what I would say. It's something that that you do without thinking. That's what I would say. Like Wi-Fi, connecting to Wi-Fi, it's ubiquitous now. Wherever you go, usually there's Wi-Fi. Not everywhere. Although I hear they have it on planes now. I don't know. The next question is asking about who a person is, so I'm not going to answer that. Here we go. From Takagero. Hello, Mr. Bob. Is a holiday in my country today, so I see. Oh, it's a holiday in my country, so I'm seeing your live lesson. What is your first verb in the morning? Maybe you say the same verb first every day. I would say the first verb would be either I open my eyes or I wake up. I think there's also like I hit the snooze button. That might be the first verb of the day because I'm half asleep and my alarm clock is going and I hit snooze and then I can sleep for 8 more minutes. So that's probably the first one. I hit my snooze button. From Arnold, what are the most effective ways to improve my grammar and conversational skills to move from B1 to B2 English? Lots of reading, lots of listening. Make sure you have a speaking partner. That will help a lot. And then do some writing. Sometimes people forget to do a lot of writing. I am going to skip questions that aren't related to the topic, people. You can ask these questions tomorrow. From Nima. Hello, dear Bob. Thank you so much for your videos. I learned a lot from you. You are welcome. You are very, very welcome. No, that says, wow, I didn't think my questions would come one after the other. Yes, sometimes two in a row, we would say in English. You asked two questions in a row. When you say something in a row, it means it happens right after each other. If your favorite football team wins a game on Friday and then wins a game on Saturday, you would say they won two in a row. Very cool. Vitor says, I like the smell of coffee, but I don't drink it. I agree. I would have the same response. Occasionally, I have a decaf coffee, but that's it. Okay, next question from Daria. Are the verbs the same in the UK? In the language that you're using? So I am speaking North American English. The verbs that I'm teaching you would be understood in the UK. Most of them would be the same. There might be some that are slightly different. So I have to do a lesson at some point with a British English speaker, and we can talk about the differences. But I would just say you should know that I am a Canadian. I speak English in North America. So I have an American or North American accent, I would say, with slight Canadian undertones. But yes, that's a great question, by the way. Let me see in the chat. John Wedge is here and says hello. Hello, John Wedge. Good to see you. Other people are saying hi as well. It's nice to see the community. Emmanuel says, watching your videos explain different things. I need to learn quickly. Thanks for all. You are welcome. You are very, very welcome. Okay, I'm going to have a sip of water and then go back to the lesson. I will mention this. I did skip two questions that weren't related to the topic. So if you are interested, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be doing another live stream, and it's a Q&A live stream, questions and answers. You may ask a question and I will answer it. And it could be any question in the world. I answer 99% of the questions that get asked to the best of my abilities. So no, that says, so your wedding ring is what you're looking for most, Bob. If I understand correctly, you don't wear it at night, right? No, I don't wear my Fitbit at night, and I don't wear my wedding ring at night. I don't know. It's just not comfortable. I can feel them when I'm sleeping. So I usually take them off. I know my Fitbit will track my sleep, but I don't know. I don't like having anything when I'm sleeping. Oh, it's on a little bit too tight. Let me just move it up a notch. There we go. Let me see here. From Hobart. Let's do a few more questions and then we will get back to the lesson. Hello, Teacher Bob. What's the word you will use when the thing you are doing is not perfect? Thank you in advance. You would basically say they're not perfect. So if I make eggs, I might say they're a bit undercooked. Let me see, I'm trying to think. I cleaned out the van, but it's not perfect. That means there's still a few things in the van. I fixed something, but you would actually use not perfect, but it's not perfect. That little phrase right there. I did it, but it's not perfect. Now we're getting someone spamming. That's what happens when I allow, from Anderson. Hello, Teacher Bob. I've been studying with your YouTube channel for years. And my question is, could you explain this expression, go about your business? Thanks. This is great for a lesson about everyday verbs, because every day people will go about their business. What that means is they'll do the things they normally do on that day. Most of you probably get up on a Monday morning, you have breakfast, you get dressed, you go to work or you go to school, you go about your business. So the phrase to go about your business simply means you're doing the things that you regularly do. A good example would be if, let's say, the police close down a section of the city, eventually they will open it up and people can go about their business again. So maybe there's a crime and they have to close off the mall for a day, but eventually they'll open it and people can go about their business. Let me see here. Okay, that's good. Let's shift gears back to the lesson. John Wedge says, hey, Bob, I'm seeing a big table in your living room full of sheets. Yeah. So this is still Bob doing his taxes. They were technically due April 30th, but because we run our own business, they don't really have to be done until June 15th. but we will hopefully get them done this weekend and finally out of the room. So that is a bunch of receipts and invoices and papers and all that stuff. Okay, here we go. Let me have a sip of water. Here we go. To walk the dog, to feed the dog. Now you can adjust this. If you walk your cat, you could say, usually you walk your cat, but mostly people will walk the dog. They'll walk their dog. Often when a family has a dog, one of the kids will be in charge of walking the dog every day. So if you have a pet, you need to take care of the pet. If it's a dog, you will walk the dog. If it's another pet, you will definitely need to feed it. So you need to feed the fish in the aquarium. You need to feed the cat. You need to feed the dog. You need to feed what other pets do people have? You need to feed the bird. Maybe you have a parrot. Maybe you have, I'm trying to think, maybe you have a horse. You need to feed the horse. If you have animals, you need to take care of the animals. One of the things you would need to do is you need to feed that animal. So for us, it's Jen that does this. Jen will feed the dog and feed the cats, feed the dogs and feed the cats, so that they have something to eat. Isn't that a cute dog? I thought that was a nice dog. You might need to pack a lunch. I don't like to buy food at work. I can buy food at work. Instead, I like to pack a lunch. I usually take cucumbers, a banana, a small sandwich. I think it's just better. It's healthier and cheaper if I pack a lunch. So when you pack a lunch, it means in the morning you get out different kinds of food and you either put it into containers or you wrap it in plastic, and then you take it with you to school or take it with you to work. So a very common thing for most people to do is to pack a lunch. This person has decided to make a traditional sandwich. It looks like it has cheese and lettuce. There's probably a bit of meat on there. Maybe they buttered the bread before, but they are making what looks like a fairly yummy lunch. It just needs a banana and a little thing of cucumbers to head out. So when you are done getting ready in the morning, eventually you will head out. So today I'm going to head out at around 9:35. I'm going to finish this lesson and then I'm going to head out around 9:35. If Jen said, when are you leaving for work? I would say I'm going to head out at 9:35. So I'll probably talk to Jen for a little bit when this live stream is over, and then I will head out for work. And then you come home from work. So at the end of the day, I will come home from work. So notice these are a little more complex. Like I head out to work, I come home from work. It's more than just saying I returned from work. We don't often say that. He left for work, we might say, and he came home from work. That would both in the past tense there. So to come home. I like to come home right away. When I'm done work, it's nice to come home. It really is. To run out and get. So this is a bit of a mouthful. Let me say it again. To run out and get. Sometimes you need to run out and get something. Maybe you need to run out and get some milk. You need to run out and get some groceries. You need to run out and get water. We are out of water and we pick up water in town. So someone needs to run out and get water today. It's on my list. But when you run out and get something, it's like you're doing something quickly. So it's kind of interesting. When you run out of milk, you have to run out to get milk or run out and get milk. So I kind of use it in two different ways there. When you run out of something, you don't have any left, and then you need to run out and get that thing. A good example would be toilet paper. If you run out of toilet paper, as in you have none, someone in the house or apartment needs to run out and get toilet paper. To get dressed, to get undressed. So when you are getting ready for work, one of the things you need to do is you need to get dressed. At the end of the day, when you get home from work, you might get undressed. You might decide to undress and put on more comfortable clothes, or you might undress before you go to bed and put on pajamas or whatever you sleep in. So they're kind of, again, two sides of the same thing. So you get dressed, and then you can also say you get undressed, by the way. I should have taught both. So I can, yeah, when I put on clothes, I say I get dressed. When our kids were little, we would dress our children. So you don't use the get. The get implies that I'm doing it. So I get dressed every morning. In the past tense, I could say I got dressed at 6:30 this morning after I had a shower. And then you can also undress or get undressed. Both will work just as well. So there's a phrase to get ready, and I'm going to teach it in general as well. But you can get ready for bed. You can get ready for work. You can get ready when people are coming over. You can get ready, which means you're cleaning the house and getting everything in the spot it's supposed to be. This lady has decided to get ready for lunch or to get ready for supper. It's a very general phrase that we use to talk about what we do just before something else. So when I'm done this live stream, I need to get ready for work. I need to find my laptop. I need to find my phone. I need to find my keys. It's a general term. You can also get ready for bed. So at the end of the day, you can get ready for bed so that you can have a good night's sleep. So you brush your teeth, you go to the washroom or bathroom. I say washroom because I'm Canadian. But definitely we use this phrase a lot. When Jen goes to market, before she leaves, she needs to get ready for market. When my kids go to school, they need to get ready for school. So it's the act of preparing to do something. You get ready to do that thing. Hey, we're going to do questions a bit early. Let me get into members only chat mode. If you are a member, for the next 10 minutes, you can ask a question directly in the chat. Let me flip that to there. I do want to say hi to the 300 people who are watching. Don't leave. The lesson isn't over. We're just going to do some questions from members. And I'll keep answering questions from the forum as well. I do want to put a plug in here that there will be a live lesson tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Where I will answer any questions that you have. Whatever questions you have, I will answer them. So come to that if you are interested. And this lesson will come out in a shorter version in a couple of days. You should know that as well. Okay, let me check the questions. I'm going to block this one person at some point. Here's a question from Judith. This is a good question. What kind of other verb would you use instead of moving house? So in Canada, we just say to move. If Jen and I decided we wanted to live in town, we would move to town. There would be a day where we would move. We would say, oh, we're going to move on Saturday. We're going to go live somewhere else. In Britain, I think they say move house. I'm going to move house this weekend. Don't quote me on that because I'm not an expert on British English. But in North America, we would say move. I'm going to move. My year at university is done. I'm going to move home this Saturday. We had a nice house in Toronto and we decided to move to Montreal. We would just use that term, just that general term. It works well for us. From Mikhailo, and then I'll jump down to the chat. Hi, Teacher Bob. Happy to see you in web space this Friday. Have a nice week. You too. I hope you have a nice week as well. Okay, let me get a sip of water. From Know That. Hey, Bob, what are your plans for today? I mean, besides sitting in seminars. Yeah, so I have a PD day today. It's professional development. So I don't have to teach, but I do have to go to school because we're getting trained on a couple of new ideas and concepts for teaching. But basically after that, I think I gave my list a little bit. I have to buy some hay for the goats. I have to get water. I think I have to get a few groceries. I think we're making pizza tonight and we might not have cheese. So I need to run out and get some cheese. There you go. There's a good example. But nothing major. And then tomorrow I'm going to do a live stream and then I'm going to finish the taxes once and for all. I know if I scroll back, I saw Freddie Wolf saying, Bob, you should hire an accountant once a year to do your taxes so you would be freed of them. Yeah, so we do that, but we have to prepare all of the paperwork in advance. From Lolly Lolly, Bob, I'm curious, what's your favorite dish in spring? So I think this is late spring, but I would say my favorite thing to eat is when strawberries are ready. And that's usually the first week of June. So it's kind of middle, late spring. And then I would just say, as you go through the summer, we have strawberries, and then eventually there's peaches, and eventually in the fall there's apples. Fresh fruit and fresh vegetables are very, very good. In the early spring here, I think we have asparagus, fresh asparagus. I think that's one of the first vegetables that we can buy fresh. Very, very good. John Wedge says, hey folks, don't forget to give a thumbs up. Thank you, John, for that. No question today, Bob. I'm late again. Sorry for that. It's a holiday here. In fact, the holiday was yesterday, but it's a long weekend. I like long weekends. We had one recently at Easter. It was very nice. From Minos Mill, good morning. In a workplace, our colleagues could say there comes Minos again. Being Minos to be sarcastic is correct. That sounds sarcastic. Tone is everything in English. And if I was to say, here comes Joe again, like it'd be like I'm saying, wow, Joe is walking around a lot. Know that grammar related question, Bob. What's the difference between, for example, it's really nice and it really is nice? Nothing. We say both. Probably 50% of the time I would say, oh, it's really nice. And the other half, I would say it really is nice. The second one can be said with a lot more emphasis, like it really is nice. You should go to Florida. It really is nice, or it's really nice. Is it just for emphasis, and can it be used interchangeably? Yes, interchangeably, the meaning is the same. The second one you can say with more emphasis if you use the tone for it. Halfiaz is asking if it's Labor Day. Oh, interesting. We have Labor Day in September. And then get back, on Monday. Gotcha. From Wanda. Hi, Teacher Bob. Could you please explain the difference between borrow and lent? Thanks a lot. It's the direction that the thing goes. So if you wanted to use these, I could lend them to you. So I would lend them to you by giving them to you. You would borrow them from me by taking them from me. So that's what you have to remember. A good example too would be when you go to the library, you can borrow a book. Okay, you can borrow a book, and then the library will lend you a book. So you see hopefully that helps a little bit there, Wanda. Key Park says we had Labor Day yesterday as well. I should have Labor Day. That sounds nice to have a day off. Freddie Wolf, when you're really bored or exhausted after a long work day, could we say, I want to head home soon in order to be at home as soon as possible to chill out? Yes, that is a perfect English sentence. You would say, I want to head home soon in order to be at home as soon as possible to chill out. You can drop the at. It's not incorrect, but if I was to say that quickly, I would say, I want to head home soon in order to be home as soon as possible to chill out. That would totally work. And you might just say relax at the end. I don't know the name, but hello, Bob. I'm from Thailand. Hello to you as well. Key Park says America's Labor Day is in September. Yeah, so the first Monday in September is a holiday in Canada, and I'm pretty sure in the United States, and we call it Labor Day. So in my part of Ontario, Canada, school starts the Tuesday after Labor Day. That's the first day of school. Lolly Lolly says, thanks for your answer, Bob. No problem. And No That says, thanks a lot for answering my questions, Bob. No problem. Let's see what we have here. Let me scroll back. I'll have a sip of water. I'm getting less questions with the form than I normally would. So I think I used to have it where there were too many questions to answer, and it's slowly gone downhill. Don't be afraid to ask a question. It's a good thing to do when you are learning English. No That says, if you had to teach today, Bob, what would be on the schedule and what content are you currently covering with your students? So right now, the computer class is studying photography, and we're looking at photo composition, how to take photos that use the rule of thirds or symmetry and other things to compose a nice photograph. My French class, they are writing a short story in French. That's what would be on the schedule. That's what people are working on. Well, let me see here. We might as well move on, I think. Let me turn off members only chat. Let me find the button to do that. And we will go back to normal mode. I will keep an eye on the chat if there are other questions that pop up. I do want to say, if you're one of the 311 people watching, first of all, thanks for being here. Don't forget to subscribe. Live stream tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where you can ask any question you want. And then also, I'm going to finish this lesson now, and it will come out in a few days in a shorter version, which you should watch for a second time. Freddie Wolf says, in French, I use the mnemotechnique. Lend like donner, borrow like recevoir. Oh, I see. Yes, you're relating it to the other things. Very cool. Okay. Members only chat is off. Subscriber mode is on. Let's see here. Wonder if we'll see what this does. Ooh, I turned off subscriber. We're going to have spam in the chat now, possibly. We'll see. Okay. I'm going to answer one more question, and then we'll get back to the lesson. From Santiago, Teacher Bob, only I want to thank you for your lessons, and you have to know that you have been a great help in my learning. I can't imagine learning English without you. You are very welcome, Santiago. I am glad that I can help. I really, really enjoy doing this. Here we go. To lock, to unlock. Now, there might be a time where you lock your car. There might be a time where you unlock your car. You might lock your front door when you leave. You might unlock your front door when you come home. We use lock and unlock for a variety of things. When you go to the gym, you might lock your locker. You might have a locker in the change room, and then you will unlock it when you're done working out. You might have a gate in front of your house, and you might lock the gate when you leave and unlock the gate when you come home. Again, you can see the little pictures on here of an actual lock. This is called a fob or key fob for a car. When you press lock, your car might go beep, beep. And when you press unlock, you might just hear it click. But this is what you might do several times a day. When I leave, if I'm the last one to leave, I lock the house. I unlock my van to get in my van. When I get to school, I get out of my van and I will lock my van. And then at the end of the day, I will unlock my van, and then I will go home and unlock the door and go into the house. To start, to turn off. It's weird how we use not quite the matching verbs. When you get in your vehicle, you start your vehicle. Someone might say, hey, start the car so the car can warm up. In the winter, we will often start our car earlier in the day. So you push a button or you turn the key to start your car. And then when you're done driving, you turn off your car. So I'm assuming this person is going to turn off their car because the green light's already on. So I'm assuming the car is running. But yes, you will unlock your car, get in your car, and then you will start your car. Then you will, of course, drive your car. And I didn't include a slide for that. And then you will turn off your car. So you don't turn on your car, but you do turn off other things. So let me explain this. You turn on your TV, you turn on your computer, you turn on the stove. I need to turn the stove on. You turn on, I'm trying to think of other things you would turn on. Turn on your laptop, why is my camera not working? You need to turn it on. So when you turn something on, it means that it has power and it comes to life, so to speak. You can see in the background, it's a bit blurry. When you turn on the TV, it lights up and it starts to work. And then you can turn off your TV. You can turn off your computer. You can turn off the radio. You can turn off many, many things to head home. I should have put this slide earlier in the lesson, probably. When you are done work, you can head home. So we had to head out. So in the morning, I will head out to work. And when I'm done work, I will head home. We use the verb to head to mean going in a certain direction. Okay. So I could head to Toronto. I can head home. I can head to the grocery store. It means you are going somewhere. It means that you are in one place and you're going to walk or drive somewhere else. So after work, I want to head home, but I have to head to the grocery store to get some cheese. And then I have to head to the water filling station to get water. So you can use to head to be, it's the same as to go, really. And then to grab, this is a universal verb in English. If my car was broken, I could grab an Uber in order to get to work. When I go to the grocery store, I need to grab some cheese. At work, I need to go to the photocopier to grab the thing that I printed out. Let me see. You can also say to someone, do you want to grab lunch? Do you want to go to the pizza place and grab a slice of pizza? This is a very, very common and useful word. So before this lesson, I grabbed a cup of water. I grabbed some water so that I could take a sip when I needed to. Before I leave for work, I will grab my phone. Before I go to buy hay, I will grab some money. Here's some Canadian money for your viewing pleasure. There's like a huge $50 bill here. Hay is expensive, by the way. I'm not sure if you knew this, but our money in Canada, off topic here, but oh, not really. You might need to grab some money before you head out. Yeah, our money in Canada is all different colors, and it has like a special plastic strip in it that makes it hard to counterfeit. But the verb to grab, very, very common. When you go on a trip, you want to make sure you grab your camera before you leave so that you have it with you. That's it for the formal part of the lesson. Few general questions in here, but I'm going to go to the form. There is one question there. It's from Minos. I will answer that. To see, to ask the time, talking about time. What time is it now? Time is it now to you? Then I will know that it's 10 a.m. to you. Okay, so right now for me, it's 9:10 a.m. If you wanted to know what time it is here, you would say, what time is it in your time zone? Or what time is it now for you? I would switch the 2 to 4. What time is it now for you? And I would say right now it's 9:10 a.m. This lesson went a little more quickly than I expected. I should have added some more verbs into it to beef it up a little bit. That's the English word we use to make something bigger. So what I'll do is I will answer a few questions from the chat. From Nell from Ukraine. Hi, Bob. I'm always confused some of the expressions that sound pretty similar. Like, there we go, there you go, here you are, there you are. Is there any difference between them? If you bought a bouquet of flowers from me at market, I would wrap it in paper and I would say, there you go, here you are, there you are. I might say, there we go, but not really, because it's the noun has become plural. But all of the last three, here you go, here you are. Did I add one? Here you go, there you go, here you are, there you are. They all mean the same thing. I'm giving you something and asking you to take it. Key Park says, grab some food, grab some coffee. Yes. I think I could do a whole lesson on all of the uses of the verb to grab. You can grab food at any time. Key Park is 12 hours different from me. That's pretty cool. Let me check. There's no more questions in the form. We are done. If you have questions and you want to ask them in the chat, please do so. Please remember there is a live lesson tomorrow at 10 a.m. Let me just post that in the chat for a sec. I'm going to steal, Hafiez posted that earlier. I'm just going to copy and paste that. And don't forget, there is a video from earlier this week encouraging you not to quit. If you were thinking of quitting, please don't quit. And I will still take questions if you follow that link for the next minute or so. And then we will wrap this up. Few things that you need to know. Number one, if you become a member of this channel, you get a couple really cool things. You get a lesson plan on Mondays, things you can try, and things I suggest that you read and do to improve your English. You get an extra video on Wednesdays. If you want to know what that's like, just go to last week because I released it to the public. It's called Wednesdays with Bob. You get your name in green during a live lesson, and you can ask questions directly during members only chat. And you get your name in green with a little crown, and the crown changes as you go along. Okay. I think that's it. I think we are done. It's time to say goodbye. And many of you are starting to say thank you. So that's awesome. Done a little bit early. It's good for me. I can be on time even though I'm already a bit late for work, which is allowed because I'm part-time. Okay, in the chat, I'm going to say bye to Freddie Wolf, Vitor, Lolly Lolly, Bridget. Bridget says, thanks a lot for today's lesson. See you tomorrow. Sounds good. Thank you, Bob. No, that says, thanks for the awesome lesson, Bob. And as always, for your time. I wish you and your family a wonderful Friday. Take care. See you tomorrow. Yeah, and I hope you're having a good day too. Know that. I know you had a day off, but your day's probably over. Well, not over. It's late afternoon, but hopefully you have a good day and good weekend. Bye to Michael. Says bye for now. Can't wait to see the full lesson later. Vitor says bye to everyone. Bye, Vitor. Bye, Wanda. Bye, Hurricane Irma. Bye, John Wedge. Bye, Rodrigo, Cat Diary, Lena, Ashkan, Judith, Hite, C.H. Ferrara. A few names where I don't know the alphabet. Marwanto is here. Hi, Marwanto. See you later. Bye to Ralph and everyone else. You guys are all awesome. I will see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It might be outside, but let's check the weather for a sec here. Let's see what... It says Saturday, 60% chance of showers, 70% chance of showers in the morning. Yeah, that's not good. We'll see. If for some reason it turns beautiful, we'll pack everything up and go outside, because I think the first Saturday in May is usually my first outdoor live lesson. We'll have to see. Bye to QWERTY, Didi Pan, Bridget, Blue, Lolly Lolly, know that. Freddie Wolf, I'm repeating myself now. Eric Lee, bye to all of you. See you. I'm going to have a sip of water, and I'm going to hit the stop button. I'm going to turn off the live stream. Earlier, I started the live stream, and I'm going to turn off the live stream. I'm just using the verbs, and then I'm going to head out for work. And I'll probably head home around 4 o'clock this afternoon. That's when I'll head home. What else can I use here? That's enough. Bye. Oh, bye, Marco. Yeah, it says, say goodbye to me, Bob. Bye, Marco.